Okay, our first word today is afford. And this is tricky because afford has two meanings. There's like afford that means you can pay for something. That's the most common one. If you can afford it, that means you have the money to buy it. So like, oh, I can afford this. But here, the way they're using afford is to be capable of providing something. So it's kind of hard to explain, but like maybe a new law happens and this law affords something for a certain group of people. So maybe a law that it makes immigration more easy, or like work visas. So this law affords more jobs for immigrants, or something like that. You could say like, this window affords us a great view, like we can see out to the street. Well, yeah, it's okay. But in that situation, you could say, yeah, this room affords us a great view, like that kind of thing. So, right, that's kind of a not common to hear that, but it can be. Number two, momentum is just kind of like the almost like the speed that you have built up. It can be like physical, like your actual momentum, like when you're describing a runner or like a gymnast, you know, like they have to keep their momentum or something, or a figure skater. Or it could describe something abstract, like this woman in the video, she's talking about she's gaining momentum with her new online products in her store. So I forget how she uses it exactly, but she says like, okay, we started getting momentum, and that means things were kind of moving more, like they were building up speed. And that goes along with number three, which is to keep the ball rolling. She also uses that expression. So my company was building momentum and I had to keep the ball rolling, and that means to just keep that momentum, to keep the energy is to keep the ball rolling. That's a idiom that's very easy to picture in your mind. You can picture an actual ball rolling and you have to just keep pushing it to keep it going. So right, if you want to continue some energy or something, you keep the ball rolling. Number four, set something apart, just means to tell the different from something, or like be different from something or someone. So if you set yourself apart from your coworkers, maybe you do something totally different. You have a different style, maybe you have a different work style or something. Maybe you're a harder worker or something, so you set yourself apart from that group. So she says like her company tries to set themselves apart from the big online companies. So they try to be different and show that they are different. Number five, thought out, just means something that has been, well, I'm trying to say it without using the word thought. It's been thoroughly planned, like someone has planned it very well. So someone really put a lot of thought into it, a lot of thinking, and we can describe that thing as thought out. So it could describe like a plan or a project. You could say, wow, this plan is really thought out. This is well thought out, right? Or in reverse, you could say, wow, this is not thought out at all because it failed. It was totally chaotic and no planning at all. So it has to be thought out. Maybe like a presentation. Number six, ever-changing. Maybe if you describe like a market as ever-changing or market demands, that means it's just constantly changing. It's continuing to evolve and become different over time. So you could say it's ever-changing. I think the smartphone market is ever-changing, right? People want big cell phones, then they want small cell phones, then they want... Who knows where it's going to go next? It's ever-changing. Okay, any questions then about some of these words or vocabulary?
In terms of number 4, can it be applied to that meaning?
I suppose it could, right? If right, in the example I used of the coworker who sets themselves apart, maybe that's not a good thing, right? Because they're like the outcast or the black sheep, kind of. They don't get along with others. So I think rarely you can, but usually when we use the idiom, it's kind of for a positive thing, like you're trying to be unique. Kind of like how unique is usually positive. Like it means different, but good. Good different. Okay, if there are no more questions, let's